Were the Nazis left wing? That's a good question. It depends. See, the problem with any question that says, is A B, is A equivalent to B, is that it depends on how you define A and B, right? And I'm not trying to weasel out of the question. I'm very, very serious about that. The Nazis regarded themselves as National Socialists, you know, so they weren't free market capitalists, let's say. So they certainly weren't right-wingers in the way that free market capitalists are right-wingers, even though they're probably more centrist. They differed from the International Socialists, which were the Marxists, because they were much more concerned with national identity and racial identity. And to the degree that you regard nationalism and racial identity as primarily right-wing views, then the Nazis would have been right-wing. So let's say that maybe they pulled from the worst of both extremes, something like that. But I do think it's reasonable to note that their extreme nationalism and ethnocentrism and racial identity probably has more in common with the radical right than it does with the radical left, which tends to be utopian universal. So one of the things I thought would be an interesting research project would be to take like 100 Nazi policies and to turn them into a questionnaire and ask people either how much they agree with them after I figured out whether they were left or right wing to begin with, or whether they thought the policies were representative of the left or the right, because that could be studied empirically, and I don't think anyone's done it, but that would be a very interesting research project.